Okay, can I call this meeting to order, the Town Council meeting for Thursday, April 27th? Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First of all, I'd like to welcome publicly and officially our new councilman, and I keep on wanting to say captain, I gotta get away from it, Councilman Peter Albert. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Okay. Some other announcements. Having to do with future meetings. Thursday, May 11th, regular meeting at 7 p.m. in the Matthew Thornton Room. Thursday, May 25th, again, a regular meeting here in the Matthew Thornton Room. Thursday, June 8th, a regular meeting, again, here, 7 p.m. in this room. And Thursday, June 22nd, regular meeting in this room. And half the summer's gone already in this. Okay, I do want to read a letter that I had received. Oh, this was going to be part. Okay, go ahead. I was going to do this for the announcement thing. This is a letter I received from Shannon Barnes, who's the chair of the Merrimack School Board. It was received on April 18th. I know that there was an article in the newspaper, but that was done before we received the letter, so anyway. Dear Nancy, at our meeting on April 3rd, the Merrimack School Board voted unanimously to not renew our agreement with the town of Merrimack to manage recreational facilities on our property on O'Gara Drive. With this vote, we are requesting that the town of Merrimack return all of the property to us as level ground, no remnants of former usage, by the expiration date of the current agreement, which falls on June 30th, 2018. The areas in question include the tennis courts, including fences and lights, basketball court, skate park, and ice rink areas. Since the tennis courts are no longer operational, we appreciate and encourage that the area be addressed as soon as possible. We would be satisfied with the property being returned as level ground and do not need the ground to be grass seeded, as we will better keep the school district's options for future use open if we did not have to uproot new grass. We thank you for the many years of partnership regarding the site and look forward to working with you in the future on projects of mutual benefit. So I just wanted to make that official. This letter has been provided to Eileen, who is not present tonight. She is excused, as well as some other department heads, to be able to do some consideration on what we're going to do. We'll talk in the future about some ideas what to do with the skate park, ice rink, those kinds of things. Okay. It is open for the season right now. Thank you, Dan. Okay. Paul, you have some announcements?
Thank you, Madam Chair. National Drug Take-Back Day is Saturday, April 29th. If you need to discard any of your old medications, please take advantage of our drug box in the main lobby of our police department from the hours of 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., or you can just go to the police station at any time while it's open, 24 hours a day, and drop off your unwanted medications. The Town of Merrimack Parks and Rec Department and the Friends of Merrimack Dog Park cordially invite you to join them on Saturday, May 6th at 11 a.m. to officially celebrate the opening of the new dog park at Wasserman Park with a ribbon-cutting ceremony. With warmer weather here, we wanted to invite the community out for the official grand opening ceremony. May 6th was chosen to coincide with Pet Safe's National Dog Park Day, which is held the first Saturday in May each year. The rain date will be May 13th. We have a few remaining compost bins and rain barrels available at the transfer station. It's on a first-come, first-served basis. The compost bins are $50 and the rain barrels are $65. And finally, the transfer station's extended hours will begin Thursday, May 11th. The transfer station will remain open until 7 p.m. every Thursday and will run through Thursday, September 7th. So from May 11th to September 7th, the transfer station will stay open until 7 p.m. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you, Paul. Okay, PFO update. There is nothing new to be reported at this point in time. Comments from the press or public? Seeing none. Reorganization of the town council pursuant to Charter Article Roman numeral 4-2, organizational meeting. Now, everyone has received the list of decisions we have to be made. And as we have done in the past regarding the chair and vice chair, we will take nominations, first, a second, then a vote, right? Okay, yes, Dan?
I would like to start off by saying the chair, since I've been here since 2010, the chair position has never been a chair sought after greatly.
And more,
It's it's always been a kind of reluctantly of the group, and I just wanted to state publicly that a lot of us here just appreciate the work of you, Nancy, and Finley and Tom, and many others over the years who have always done that role. This year, I know, Nancy, in particular, you expressed that maybe it was your time to change it up, because over the last several years, we almost created an unofficial policy of wanting to change things up. And this year, several of us have had jobs that are just, really busy. Tom, more than capable, obviously, and has done it in the past, has a busy schedule, and several of us are just really not in the position to maybe put as much time into it that we would like. So I kind of fall back on you, unfortunately, but fortunately for us, being retired and has shown the capacity of time to work with Eileen, maybe some more than other people who are working a lot. And Finley's the same way as far as as a backup.
How does that feel?
To your spot. So in that vein, I wanted to say I'd like to nominate Nancy for chair again under those circumstances, but in no way distinguishing anybody else who's up here and who could do a really great job at it too. But I'd like to take advantage of your position and able to put the time into it that you have.
Okay, any other nominations? Speak up now. Remember, a year and a half of that, I was not retired.
That's right.
Just to let you know, so you can't use that as an excuse all the time.
I didn't call you old.
Oh, I understand that, but,
Okay.
but I do understand what you're saying, too. Okay. I'll just say it publicly. Philosophically, I don't think the same person should be chair all the time. And I don't think that's true with the council or any of the other boards. I just think, Peter, we've said this to you when you first came on, there's no one person here more important than anyone else. And the chair is a coordinator, but certainly has no more authority, power, or standing than any of the members. So I think that has to be recognized as well. And I kept on hinting for the last year that someone should be thinking about it. Obviously, no one is.
So, I thought about it.
Yes.
Yeah, you thought about it.
That's not true.
So interestingly enough, I think we're in sort of a unique position because I think there are some selectmen or councils that would vie for the power or authority of supposedly the chair. And that's not true here, and I think that's a compliment to all of us. Because I don't think it's a matter of who has the most authority. The reality is all of us have equal authority and responsibility and all the rest. So,
And I don't want to put you on the spot. If you really feel like you'd like to have a break, I would like to see maybe you two could switch chairs. Finley, I'm sure, would be a good chair again, and I could nominate you as vice chair as well. And I hate to put you on the spot because I didn't.
How do you feel being on the spot, Finley?
He nominated you.
You're the one
And
on the
I-
spot.
Because as you know, I didn't call you in advance.
No, you
it
did
wasn't like I
not.
was polling you. So
Okay, I feel honored that you still want me in the position. Even considering all of the things that have happened over the last couple of years, the PFOA and the pipeline is like all hell's broken loose, and maybe we need to get rid of her. Because
well, I
maybe
haven't
she's-
gotten a second.
There's no need.
There's no need for a
There's no
second.
need for a second. The question is whether you have any other nominations. You asked that question.
Yes, I did, and
You
I've
need to
not
call
heard
for
a
vote.
result. Okay, call for a vote. All those in
We
favor
have to
say
close
aye.
nominations, Madam Chair.
close nominations. Okay, they're closed. All those in favor of the nomination, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Not even one, huh? Well, I'm going to recuse myself, so it'll be 6-0-1. Okay, can we have a, oh, he's going for it tonight, yes, Dan?
I'd like to nominate Finley for vice chair.
I would concur with that. Would you, what's your response there, Mr. Rothaus?
More than happy, unless somebody else is desirous of the seat, I'd be more than happy to do it.
Isn't it amazing no one else wants it? What does that say?
Although, I have to tell you, Nancy communicates with me at times, and I didn't know this until last night, as a matter of fact, that for the past 3 get-togethers we normally do to meet with the town manager and Becky to set up the agendas, I've gotten them through a Facebook message, and I don't get that. So I didn't even know those had come. She typically will text me. And
I
so
do text you.
with the
Well, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, so
Clearly.
but anyhow.
Okay.
But yes, I enjoyed doing it, and you've been a great chairman.
And we
so-
do work well together. As you said, we work on the agendas together, so. Okay, any other nominations? Seeing none, all those in favor, let's do a vote. Close nominations. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Abstain.
Abstain. 6, because Finley. Okay, how about the other? Okay, Adult Community Center, I've done that, so I'll do that again.
That's item 4 on the agenda, Madam Chair.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're absolutely right. I'll do that later according to that. Yep. See, I've just befuddled myself. Okay, recognitions, resignations, and retirements. The Town Council will present a recognition plaque to Jason P. Kimball, and he is here, is that correct?
Yep.
Great. In recognition of more than 17 years of service to the town of Merrimack, Department of Public Works Highway Division, April 10, 2000 to February 3, 2017. So I'm going to come up here, and you're going to join me. Usually have this open. I'm going to read this plaque to you. That's going to be a few words. Presented to Jason P. Kimball in recognition of the dedicated service you have given during your employment of the Town of Merrimack Public Works Department. Your dedication and devotion have had a valuable effect on the Town of Merrimack, and we wish to extend to you our sincere appreciation for your outstanding performance. April 10th, 2000 to February 3rd, 2017, presented by the Town Council and Town Manager this 27th day of April 2017. A little few words, and if you want to say a few words, you can as well, but after.
Hi, Jason. Jason, I'm pleased to be able to honor your dedication and commitment to the Public Works Department tonight. For those of you who don't know Jason, he is a very proud, lifelong resident of Merrimack. He started full-time with the town on April 10th, 2000 as an Equipment Operator 1. In this position, he grew and excelled at performing tasks such as road and drainage repair, chainsaw use and maintenance, catch basin cleaning and repair, snow plowing, equipment and small tool repair, and parks maintenance. Jason was always available for emergency operations anytime they came up. And Jason, you tackled each assignment with a positive, safety-conscious attitude. He was always thinking safety and reminding others of its importance. He was willing to actively participate in all of the safety training provided. Marion Wright Edelman once said, "Education is for improving the lives of others and for leaving your community and world better than you found it." I think this saying suits Jason. He's a Master Road Scholar through the UNH T-Squared program. This takes years of classroom and hands-on training, and he was one of the first in town to earn this honor. Jason, I recognize that you had the community's best interest in mind with each assignment that you were given, and I want you to know that your contribution to the town throughout the years is appreciated. Gail Devers said, "Keep your dreams alive. Understand to achieve anything requires faith and belief in yourself, vision, hard work, determination, and dedication. Remember all things are possible for those who believe." You have proven yourself to be a very skilled individual. I want you to take these skills and use them as you face new challenges and adventures. I want to thank you for your many years as a loyal, motivated, and valued member. And please accept my good wishes for the future.
I should have introduced Laurie Barrett as well. She's the director of DPW. Do you want to say a few words? Go right ahead. I'll get this ready.
That was my first hat that was ever given to me by the town. My first shirt for 15 years. This town's my home. It's everything. Grew up here, born here. It's everything to me. I appreciate the time you guys took up today for this plaque to give to me. I thank you for that. I thank Lori. I thank Kyle. I thank Miss Betsy. She's one of the best people the whole. She's the glue for the highway garage down there. I remember when Lori came on, kind of gave us lady luck because that's the year my partner Dean and I became first place in the plow rally, and we made it go. We was able to go to the regionals. So it's nice to have a plaque with my name down there with my partner Dean. So I do appreciate that. Appreciate the chance you guys gave me. I'm gonna miss this place. I watch those trucks go by, and that's me.
You have to keep an eye on them still, okay?
Well, people always come. They think they come to me, and then you gotta call them. I'm no longer there anymore.
I bet you still stick up for them, though.
I do. I'm just not there anymore. But thank you. I want to thank Finley because you're around when I got hired. And
he's that old?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We had selectmen back then.
Yeah.
And I'd like to say a couple words. Jason, he's probably one of the most dedicated employees that I'd ever seen. You can tell, he loved his job, he loved the guys and the people he worked with, and I pop down when I can to Public Works during the snowstorms so I can try and talk to everybody, but they're generally so busy that it's Betsy and I that have conversation. But he's the most dedicated person you could ever want to meet, and he will sorely be missed, and I absolutely, and I'm sure I speak for everybody, we absolutely appreciate everything you've done, and we will miss you.
Thank you. I miss all the guys. I want to say thank you for Lovey for picking me up off the ground a couple times, especially after I fell through the spreader. That was something. He said, "You were out top there one minute, and then you were gone." And it just happened. I don't know how he got up there so fast, but he pulled me right out with one hand. Good
deal.
There was some good times, some rough times, those storms, but we did it.
Absolutely.
And we kept this town moving safely for the people. It was all about make sure all the residents were safe, especially during those big ice storms and snowstorms when we had no power. This town was pretty dark.
Yes.
So I want to say thank you once again. Thank you to Kyle, Sharon, for all the help you gave me with all the paperwork and stuff. Betsy and Lori, thank you. Gave me one of the best days there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Okay, annual review with the Parks and Recreation Committee. Per Town of Merrimack Charter, Section 6-6, at least annually, there should be an annual review with the Parks and Recreation Committee. This agenda item is to highlight the committee's significant actions, current projects, anticipated actions, and to raise any concerns the council should know or act upon. And Committee Chair, Chris Christensen, aside from other kinds of responsibilities, but tonight you're going to be the chair of the Parks and Rec. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the council, Councilman Albert. Haven't you done something else for the town?
He didn't know what to do with his
see the committee
time.
assignments they give you later on. So, let me just give you some background. Some of this, of course, is for the folks back home. But I guess the first thing is our membership. I'm the chairman, Chris Christensen. Laura Janes is vice chairman. Michelle Creswell is our secretary. And we also have Christine Lavoie, Julie Poole, Rick Greener is the MYA representative. Maureen Hall is the representative from the Seniors Club. Michael Thompson is the member from the school board. And we thank Dan Dwyer for doing a great job representing the town council on the Parks and Rec Committee. Thank you, Dan. We also have a couple of alternates. Shannon Barnes is an alternate from the school board. And Brian LeClaire is an alternate from the MYA. And for those people who are interested in what's going on in Parks and Recreation, we have a couple of openings, 2 full-time members, and we also have room for a couple of alternates. So if you're interested in that, you can contact Town Hall or call Matt Gasparius at 882-1046 or contact me. And you can find all of that contact information on the town website. So Parks and Recreation really supports activities for all age groups, kids, families, seniors, which is one of the reasons we have a senior representative on the Seniors Club representative on the committee. We meet monthly on the 3rd Wednesday, usually in Town Hall, but on occasion we meet at one of the parks. Our December meeting last year was a potluck supper at the function hall in Wasserman Park. And while we're on that for just a second, we've had some great support from this town council over the last couple of years in terms of budgetary things and just setting some goals for us and making that building usable again. And we want to thank you for that. So our duties are, I see them in 3 different areas. The first is advisory. We essentially examine various issues and communicate to Matt Gasparius, Director of Parks and Recreation. And so that's our advisory capacity. And then through Matt to the town town manager, and the manager, of course, communicates with you folks. It sounds like a long chain, but it's really pretty quick and easy. And we appreciate Matt's support in working on that kind of thing. Some of the things that we've talked about, obviously the budget, that's one of our official duties. Rules, regulations, ordinances, and we've recently reported to you, or at least given Matt the information to report to you on a couple of updates and changes to those things. We get presentations from Eagle Scouts and work on their projects with them, as well as Matt working with them.
We'll check it out later.
And as you probably know, we've had several meetings on dog park rules. And we're just tickled that next week, May 6th,
May
is the grand
6th.
opening of the Merrimack Dog Park at Wasserman Park. We also comment on a lot of things. It's just general discussion, but there are things that Matt pretty much does independently as the Director of Parks and Recreation, but he keeps us well advised of what he's doing and what other things are going on around, and we have a general discussion, so it amounts to citizen input from that direction that might not otherwise be coming forward. And I think our final is, we do participate in many of the events. The more visible ones, obviously, are July 4th, the Halloween party, I'm trying to think, fall holiday parade, winter carnival, Easter egg hunt, that type of thing. Sometimes we're able to participate in some of the things that are smaller scale, if you will. The blood drawings, for example, go on. But I will say over the last couple of years, we've needed more and more volunteers, so I'm still looking to fill those empty slots. We had about, I think, 1,000 people at the Easter egg hunt a couple of weeks ago. And we're seeing much higher levels of participation in everything that's going on at all of the parks. So, but particularly in Wasserman. And again, the support we've had in upgrading Wasserman has been tremendous. We have a couple of subcommittees. The Merrimack Dog Park, Friends of the Merrimack Dog Park, functions in some respects as a subcommittee. And we have an athletic field subcommittee looking at or re-looking at field needs for the town of Merrimack. And as of earlier this month, it looks like they're going to have a chore assigned to them, at least to provide some input on what we're going to do with the 4 recreational facilities on O'Gara Drive. We talked a couple of years ago about moving or relocating the ice rink. And it's not an easy thing, even though you can pick up the ice rink and move it fairly easily. Parking, snow removal, water to feed the ice, if you will, lighting are all difficult to move or just don't exist in a lot of places. So that one's going to be something to really look at. And I think for the most part, that pretty much covers some of the things we do. I would be happy to discuss or answer questions.
Finley?
Thanks, Chris. I happened to check out the dog park within the past week, and I didn't know if for the grand opening, all the signage will be up and not.
Yeah, that's the plan, and that's part of the reason, even though we had a soft opening earlier in the winter, putting the signs in frozen ground wasn't a good plan and so forth. So we expect everything to be shipshape and shiny on the 6th.
Perfect. It looks actually pretty cool. Nice setup. It came out.
It's being used a lot, isn't it, already?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Every time I drive by during daytime, yeah.
It's very good.
There's cars parked out there.
Excellent. Anyone else? Yes, Dan?
Now that it was official that we got word from the school board releasing O'Gara Drive, I wonder if maybe there was a consensus with us that we could let the Park and Rec Committee, with Chris here, to give them a charge of maybe studying where we could be moving the skate park. I think that group itself is the ideal group to really, tackle that issue and kind of really put some effort into looking around town on where they can maybe pick a good site and come back with a good recommendation for us.
You're talking about the
two different
skateboard?
parks.
Or ice
Two
skate?
skate parks.
The two skate, well,
Both of
the
them.
ice rink is one, in the skate, I was mainly thinking of the skate park
Skateboard
itself.
park.
It's skateboard park, right,
Okay.
right,
But both, actually.
right.
I think that's a great
I think
idea.
it's a great idea, too.
thank you.
So
Yeah,
please do.
I will say in some locations, something like the ice rink I know there are towns that set it up in the fall, and they put it in the parking lot. But it's a parking lot that's not used at a park in the winter very much, so they put the skate park, the skating rink in the parking lot, and they take it up and put it down every fall and winter. I know Kyle probably doesn't want to hear that, but.
Well, I think that's, but regardless of where it goes, DPW is going to have to be involved
Right.
with the discussion and planning anyway, right?
And DPW has been a big supporter
Right.
of Parks and Recreation.
In fact, when I received the letter, that's one of the people I sent it to Kyle, as well, obviously, as Eileen, because they were going to be, and also Matt Kasparius, right, Matt? Because that would be, all of those people would be intricately involved in the planning on what was going to happen with all the facilities.
I will say, with that in mind, it's too late this year, but next year we might pump a little bit more money into the capital reserve funds for those functions. And we have a plan in place that's been there for 10 years probably, that presupposes that the cost of developing an athletic field is about $150,000. And these days it's probably closer to $250,000, so, or more, depending upon the particular site. So even though we have some money in that capital reserve fund, there really isn't enough to do a full development at this point.
Right.
He wouldn't be a good chairman unless he said that. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Dan.
Hint, hint, hint. Okay, any other questions? Seeing none. Thank you very much, Chris, for all the time that you put in for this town.
Thank you.
Not only here, but in your rep's position as well.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks again, Chris, appreciate it.
Public hearing. Donation of funds for Wasserman Park basketball court upgrade. Submitted by Matt. Come on up, Matt. The town council will hold a public hearing to consider the acceptance and expenditure of a donation in the amount of $10,088, and I'll let you give the specifics, Mark.
Sure. Thank you, members of the council. This is really kind of a donation that came out of the blue. We weren't out looking for it. We had somebody approach us a couple of weeks ago, and big avid basketball fan, spends a lot of time at the park. The existing hoops at Wasserman Park are pretty old, and we would have gotten to them eventually, but it certainly wasn't on the top of our list at the moment. So he came out of the blue to us and said, big supporter of basketball, want to keep it, growing. We're willing to make a donation to the town to purchase new systems. Right now, the upper courts has 2 hoops, the lower courts down by the water has 2 hoops, and what he's proposing is giving the town money basically to have 3 on each of those courts. So the 2 ends and then one kind of for shooting at half court.
Now, that's the pole and everything?
It's the pole and everything, which is why it costs what it costs.
Wow.
The nice thing about what he's proposed to us is they're adjustable, so you can obviously change the height for it based on the age of the kids that are working with it.
Nice.
And talking to Paul McCallie earlier today about it, obviously we would have to go out to bid to purchase it. The resident Mark Roy, he's making the financial donation. He was looking at either Public Works doing the installation, or if we're going out to bid anyway, maybe we'd have a contractor do it, but that would be up to that later.
Excellent. It is an amazing donation. It's amazing. Okay, I'd like to open up the public hearing at 7:39. Yes, Chris.
Chris Christensen, Chairman of the Parks and Recreation Committee. We did discuss this at our last meeting, and I just want you all to know that the committee unanimously hopes you will accept this generous donation. We thank Mr. Roy for bringing it forward.
Thank you, Chris. Anyone else? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing at 7:40. Yes.
I would be remiss if we didn't talk about the cost of installation. Do you have any clue what we might expect it to cost to install these poles?
I don't at this point. We, like I said, we had originally been looking at a Public Works project for installation, but we haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay. Paul, do you have a guess or no?
It all depends on the unit itself with the pole and the backboard, and depending
Which unit gets picked?
what unit gets picked. And if DPW does it, of course, it will be just materials. And we'll schedule it through Lori. If an installer comes in, then there'll be some money that we'll have to consider when we go out to bid for this. But I think we can get it done for the we'll get it done one way or the other for the $10,000.
This donation was very specific about what he was wanting to donate. Are you suggesting that we don't need to follow that?
No, I'm not
Well,
suggesting that at all. I'm just, I understand how he wants it, but we need to talk about the application where they are to make sure that those basketball groups will actually
Meet the needs.
meet the needs
requirements, yeah.
of the requirements of that area. And I'm sure they will, but we definitely would have to look into that so that we're not replacing in another year or so.
Okay. I think it's great. I very much appreciate Mark Roy's generous donation. And it would be incredibly difficult for us to pass up on something like this. But we do need to consider the cost of putting it in. And so it's just part of our job to look into that. So something we'll have to follow up on. Thhank you.
Yes. Peter?
Matt, just a quick question. The existing hoops, they're just old, or were they bent down, pulled down?
They're old and beat up, but actually one of them was hit by one of the snow plows this winter when they were plowing the park. So there's one we have to replace anyway. So it's something we would have been doing.
So they don't need replacement because they were abused. It's just wear and tear.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's a very generous donation by Mr. Roy.
No. Anyone else? Okay, receptive to a motion to accept and expend.
Madam Chair, I move that the town council accept and expend a donation in the amount of $10,088 from resident Mark Roy to the Parks and Recreation Department to be used towards the purchase of 6 new basketball hoops for the courts located at Wasserman Park pursuant to RSA 31:95-B and Charter Article 8-15, and furthermore that council ask Matt Kasparius to write a thank you note to Mr. Roy expressing our deepest gratitude and thanks for, as Councilor Albert alluded to, his most generous donation.
Motion made by Bill Boyd, second by
Second.
Tom Koenig. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 700. Thank you very much, Mr. Roy.
Yes, thank you.
You will be
Thanks, Matt.
remembered for years for this. In fact, there should be a little plaque or something. We'll talk about it later. Okay.
Right on him, yeah.
Right on them. Just a little donated by. Excellent, perfect. Legislative updates from state reps. See, look at this. You're here. We took advantage of this.
This is so much fun. I'm Chris Christensen again, State Representative from Hillsborough District 21, which is the town of Merrimack. I don't really have anything exciting to tell you except that we are working on 2 or 3 PFOA and PFOS bills, struggling with them. It's a difficult and complex issue, but I'd be happy to answer any questions if people have any.
Finley, you look like you have one.
Actually, I've seen the legislation, but I don't recall the detail of the legislation. Does this legislation ask for our Department of Environmental Services to come up with numbers that we consider to be maximum levels of PFOA, or are we going to be leaving that to the Environmental Protection Agency?
The one I think that most closely fits that description is House Bill 485, which came before my committee. And we liked it to the extent that we knew about it. We did not have any financial information on it when we passed it and the House passed it. But it went to the Finance Committee, and then after it got there, they finally received the financial information. Looking at it from that very difficult to afford. And in essence, it would shut down some water systems around the state. Vermont has had a similar level, that's the 20 parts per trillion, in their law for quite some time, well, over a year. And we've been looking into how they handled it, but it turns out they have a very limited geographic area that they're working in. They aren't testing statewide. They aren't doing anything except right in North Bennington, and maybe just a little bit around that. And their expectation is that St. Gobain will pay for everything. We don't have that situation in New Hampshire, so it's quite a different set of circumstances to deal with. When the bills were first in the filing stages way back last fall, we didn't have a lot of that information. So now we're getting that information, and there's another bill that is going to have a third public hearing on Tuesday that has an amendment pending on it, which will take the numbers out of the law and give the responsibility to DES to make rules based on scientific information. That's probably going to work out to be a much better approach, but you know how the legislative process works. It's slow and cumbersome sometimes, probably with good reason.
Right, and I can appreciate that. My concern is that a regulatory body has that ability to rain havoc without ever being held accountable by the electorate. They're appointed, unelected individuals, and so as that legislation passes through, if you would kind of keep that in mind, my concerns anyhow, I'd appreciate it.
Well, the balancing act is that if you put numbers in legislation and then need to change it, you can't change it very easily.
Right.
We're running another bill on accessory dwelling units, and there's some requests to put certain limits into the law, and if you do that and you need an exception, DES has no right to grant a waiver. So you're stuck. So if we put things in rules, they can grant waivers. If you put it in the law, well, it might take another year or more for filing dates and effective dates and so forth to get something changed. If you have something in rules, DES can issue an emergency order. So there's a lot of flexibility there, and the system generally works pretty well. I understand the caution that needs to be held up when you give authority to the administrative agencies.
And I guess one last thing, and I apologize. I'm always torn because, of course, EPA is another unelected, unaccountable bureaucracy, but I'm imagining that they have deeper pockets who would be willing to do the greater research and have that opportunity and ability. I don't so much know that DES is able to do that because of their limited budgets and so on. So just my thoughts.
Which is why they were relying on EPA
Right.
to make a determination of what they did.
Yeah, they certainly have greater resources. On the other hand, there are times when they decide not to devote their resources to things that we'd like them to do, and we don't have any control over that. There is speculation that EPA may be a shadow of its former self by the end of the year. We don't know that either. But the same thing applies right now. You had a discussion a couple of weeks ago about the MS4 situation, the separate stormwater sewage disposal, and we're down to, I think, 4 states that are not managing it. The other 46 states is being managed by
We're the only
states.
one left.
We're the only one left.
I think Idaho just went, yeah. But there was more to
Right.
that. But anyway, that situation is one where EPA, the feeling is EPA doesn't want to do this.
Right.
So they're making it very difficult for the
is what
states to
Tom-
continue under their jurisdiction and say, let's just get rid of it. So they have some support, they have some expertise, but they have the ability to pick and choose what they want to do.
Which is the point that Tom Mahan made during the last meeting,
Right.
is they're making it so horrendous that we'll do anything to get away from them. and get away from EPA and have the state DES take over. And it makes sense. Because our criteria is so dramatically more difficult than any other state criteria.
Thanks.
But that has financial tags tied to it.
Absolutely,
And that's
'cause
what's
we'll have to pay
making it
for it.
very difficult for the legislature to move on it, and we appreciate that effort. In any case, whatever you do, the fact that you think about us, we really appreciate.
Yeah, we're working to bring two bills together on that now, one from Senator Sanborn and one from Representative Gould, oddly, both of them from Bedford. And Senator Sanborn's bill contemplates some new fees or something to provide DES with the manpower to do what EPA is doing now. So that's going to take a year or more to work out.
Yep.
Bill?
Thank you. It was my understanding that the Senate President, Chuck Morse, slapped an amendment onto a specific Senate bill borrowing $5 million from the MTBE fund to provide a grant or a loan to, I forget the company in Amherst that had their PFOA. TCI, thank you, regarding PFOA contaminations that they've accepted responsibility for as it relates to drinking water in Amherst. My question to you is, do you see anything coming down the pike in the next year or two that would add language to the existing MBTE fund that would allow for communities to tap in or borrow, or companies to be able to tap in and borrow, so that issues like PFOA in Merrimack being impacted by Saint-Gobain, either Saint-Gobain or the community, or in this instance, the village district would have access to that particular funding? And secondly, do you think that might potentially come under the auspice of the Drinking and Groundwater Council, to which I believe you are a member of?
I am a member of that. We haven't met very much. I think one of the reasons is we don't have a DES commissioner right now. We should have soon, but I think that, plus the timing of the legislative session, has held that up. Senator Morse is the chairman of that council. The MTBE fund, he sees, and I don't disagree with this, as being used for loans, so it's a continuing fund rather than grants. And one of the questions you run into there is who's eligible, and TCI says, well, we don't have the deep pockets that Saint-Gobain does, for example. So maybe they're a candidate. There are others who are saying, well, it's an MTBE fund. We still have MTBE projects going on, and maybe it should be used for that first before the court that awarded that money says, wait a minute, you're supposed to be doing MTBE projects, not going off doing something else. So there's a lot to thrash out there. It's not, again, it's a complex situation. But certainly that's one avenue, and I think it'll probably work in that direction.
Bill, continue.
Thank you. Just to segue back to your comment regarding Representative Gould and Senator Sanborn, both from Bedford. Senator Sanborn's bill was drastically amended to go from certain criteria regarding waterways and funding into being a study, which would be companioned with the House bill, which I believe was setting up a study as it related to the MS4 piece. Has that gone to conference of committees yet, or?
No. Senator Sanborn's bill is in my committee. We'll be talking about it Tuesday.
Okay.
Representative Gould's bill is in the Senate. They haven't taken any action on it yet. We're hoping that those two people will get together. The basic difference is that Senator Gould's bill did not offer or request new funding or new fees. Senator Sanborn's bill did. And then they differed a little bit on what the makeup of the membership of the commission might be, and that's easy enough to resolve.
Okay. I have a difference of opinion with Councilor Rathaus. I actually think the state should be controlling it, because New Hampshire people knows what goes on in New Hampshire. And I sure as heck wouldn't want a bureaucrat from Cambridge telling New Hampshire what to do. And that's how I feel about that situation. And I've talked with Chris offline about DES in general and their general reticence over things, and I certainly understand and get that, but it doesn't escape the fact that, they live in the Granite State. They understand the different dynamics that exist in New Hampshire, not just in Merrimack, but, up in Cowash County or over on the seacoast, different issues as it relates to clean drinking water. My personal opinion would be, if it's going to, and again, my personal opinion, if it's going to cost a couple of bucks to professionalize DES so they're able to address those particular issues and we can get out of the umbrella or the tent of the EPA so that New Hampshire's controlling its own destiny as it relates to drinking water, clean potable water, the better we are, I think, as a state. So anyway, Chris, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you for the discussion. Anything else?
No, apparently not.
Good
Thank
evening.
you very much, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Town Manager's Report, Paul?
Thank you. Townwide street sweeping began on April 17th. Work is expected to be completed by the end of May. A zone map and listing of the progress can be seen on the Highway Division's webpage. I believe right now they're in Zone 2, and it should be completed either tomorrow or early next week, and then they'll be moving on to each zone following that. It's all depending on the weather. The Highway Division has been busy repairing potholes around town. If anyone sees a pothole, please report them to the Highway Division at 423-8551.
Where they're going to be barraged.
All athletic fields are now open for recreation use. The police would like your patience and cooperations from the public during the annual MOA baseball parade this Friday, the 28th, from the Town Hall to Bice Field, Kids Cove, MOA. There will be minor delays of travel along DW Highway in this area between 5:30 and 6 p.m. There will be a significant amount of traffic coming to the center of town with every baseball player marching. So there's a lot of additional traffic on a Friday evening coming through town. So just be aware of that, please.
What date was that?
That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So baseball season's here.
I suspect he's going to do it regardless, but would you have the chief or whomever runs Nixle make sure it goes out on that? Because
We'll make sure
that
Yes,
saved me on
you're
the
absolutely
occasion.
right.
Yeah. I suspect they'll do it anyhow. They're pretty good with that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'll make sure there's an Nixle tomorrow, reminding everybody.
Beforehand.
Yes.
Before you get in line.
All set? There is no consent agenda, nor old business, new business. Matt, are you doing this? Okay. Merrimack Elementary School PTTF Color Fun Run. Town Council to consider the approval of a request of an elementary school-wide second annual Color Fun Run event to be held at Waspen Park on Friday, June 2nd, 2017. That was fun last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you again. So yes, the elementary schools have approached us again about repeating their event which they did last year. We had no issues with it on our end, and so I would encourage you to approve their request.
Questions? Yes, Peter?
I just back Matt up on that. In a previous career, I was involved in the planning of some of this, and it went very successfully, and there was no problem on the police or traffic end of it.
Right.
Yeah, it was really good.
So,
Yes, Tom?
just to get you to say it out loud, you plan to go through the same process of whatever you did and that Councilor Albert is talking about as far
Yes.
as setting up security and handling transports and all that kind of stuff?
Yes, the schools will coordinate with the police department for traffic and details and
At
that
the
type of
park,
thing. And then
yeah.
within the park, obviously, we section off parts of the park. We've already
Have
kind
a
of
route.
notified the leagues and things that, the fields aren't available that day and yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. It was one that well attended, but
It
it
was.
was also well run.
Yep.
It was very well coordinated. Just don't get near when they're throwing the color.
Don't take a deep breath.
Don't take a deep breath. Okay, motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Peter Albert, second. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, 700. Town Center Committee proposal for walkway from DW Highway into Abbie Griffith Park. submitted by Town Center Committee member Peter Flood. Town Center Committee to present their proposal of a granite walkway from Daniel Webster Highway up into Abbie Griffith Park for action item 1A of the Town Center Pedestrian and Trail Master Plan. Peter, you all set? We're unrelated, but what happened to the Abbie Griffith sign? Oh, we're painting it?
We took not only Abbie Griffin down, but we also took down the Timothy Gibson sign, and we are restoring them and going to put them back up shortly, but they're being cleaned and painted.
Okay, because I noticed that it was absent. I
Yes.
didn't.
Yeah, we've tried to bring them back to their luster.
Excellent, thank you.
That's a
Good
gold
to hear.
star for you for noticing that.
Yeah, I went by, and in fact, I noticed it a couple of times, and I keep on forgetting to ask. And when this came up, I went, okay, I'm going to ask, even though it's unrelated to the topic. So I'm sorry, I apologize for. Go ahead, Peter.
Good evening. I'm Peter Flood from Six Shore Drive, and would like to, I'd personally like to submit that as a pothole.
Short drive.
Yes. But Bill Wilkes and I are here tonight to present a two-tier request for the town. Bill and I are on the Town Center Committee, and we represent that committee tonight. We're both on the Rotary Club, in the Rotary Club of Merrimack, and we're here to represent the Rotary Club too. The Town Center Committee has been working on this now for about 9 years. It's been on the back burner for a while, but this past many months we've been working on this granite walkway, and we have it all planned out. Bill and I have been begging around town for the best people in town to provide the goods and services we need, and we've been successful, and I'd like to pass out some affirmation of costs and value of what it will take to complete the job. The first letter on our submittal is from our chairman of the Town Center Committee, Nelson Disco, and we're asking permission from the council to build the project. We are also, as a second request, asking the town to accept as a gift the value of the whole project to be given by the Rotary Club of Merrimack. And there's on the a letter from the president of Rotary Club involved in your presentation packet from Troy Arthun, requesting just that. On the second page of Nelson's letter, we have costs and value listed, that the value comes to twice what our cost will be, and would like you to accept those figures, even though they might have to be slightly adjusted within the scope of the real work. The plan, the location of the stairway is depicted on the first plan that you see, and you see that it's right next to the mobile station, quite close to that end of the slope. And we have permission from the mobile station manager to park the big truck that will deliver the granite pieces. The next is a close-up that shows the curvation of the stairway itself and the radius that it will be used to achieve it. a radius of about 68 feet to the center of each granite piece. The next sheet in your packet is a sideways view of 2 of the granite steps and how they will be set in packed gravel according to the wishes of our Director of Public Works. So that has been cleared. The 7-inch riser of each step has been cleared with the building department. And the curbs themselves are curved. They are pieces of roadway curbing that, when set into grass situation, they become lawn steps. And they've been used quite frequently lately by architects and designers of jobs, yes. So they should look very nicely from the sidewalk as people are either driving by or walking by. We're not really building these steps, we have to admit, for heavy pedestrian traffic. We realize that there will probably be as many people using these steps as use the steps that are here connecting the 2 town hall buildings, and yet that brick and granite walkway is a welcome optic, to use a new term that's popular now. And we will be using this stairway as...
Could you repeat that? Welcome optic.
A welcome optic, yes. Aesthetics.
It's the perfect description.
Yes. And we feel that some people will use it. I think Bill mentioned once that maybe there'll be some couples hand in hand going up there to get a photograph of their joining for a period of a lifetime together. And that would be nice. Yeah. So we're here to answer any questions you might have on it. Bill wants to probably add something.
I mean, the reason I'm behind this project, for probably more than one reason, but I just think that the gazebo never had like a entrance that was inviting. It's, you know, you have to come around the back of the buildings to go down there, and you know, there's a pretty good slope there, and it was never like an inviting walkway to go up if you wanted to from the sidewalk. And you know, like Peter mentioned, this is only a piece of the whole town center plan. I think you've seen some of our plans in the past, and you know, the long-term vision is to have a nice network of sidewalks and improve the walkability of the center of town. And when that's done over a period of time, and we're making good progress, this is just a small connecting of the dots, so to speak. You know, we would hope years down the road, sooner than later, that more people will walk around the center. So it'll be a more walkable center, and you know, it would make sense that if you were down at Watson Park and we had a big event and you chose to park your car down there or whatever, or you were down at an activity there and there was another activity at the gazebo, you might walk up the sidewalk and go right up the stairs to the gazebo. You know, right now you have to scale, you know, a pretty good slope, and this would give you an inviting entrance to the gazebo.
Has there been any discussion with Kyle, for example? Any discussion with Kyle in terms of the placement? Did he have any questions? I'm just wondering, he's going to have to maintain it.
Yes.
Right? So
We
were
had
there
a lot of
questions from
discussion
him?
on that, and the
So you
plan
have already
changed
dealt with
because
him.
of the discussions,
Okay.
to the point that a mower can just ride across
That was my question.
in between 2 steps, and hopefully make it very easy to maintain
Okay.
as far as the grassy area
So
is
that has been
concerned.
dealt with already. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Dan?
I want to
obviously thank both of you and the whole town Senate committee, but I totally agree. As we've all seen Abbie Griffin from that street, it's beautiful in the grassy hill, but it really was kind of uninviting to go up that way. You know, obviously everyone's always using the back entrance, but the best thing about I think the whole project is that you didn't go with like some type of railroad tie, and this granite's going to make it look like forever. And that I just can't thank you enough on that choice. I just think it's going to look fantastic. Your choice on the material being used, I think it's really going to make a real statement to that whole park, and just the welcoming, the welcoming optic is perfect. Perfect.
Well, I should give credit to Ward Gleason of Gleason Ice and Stone Suppliers here in Merrimack, because he suggested that we do it this way.
Nice.
We had been thinking of putting in bricks and granite steps, and there'd be a lot more maintenance and weeds growing through it and so forth. And he had been involved in a few of these projects, and his comment to start with was, when you look at it, you'll see granite all the way up. And we immediately grasped that idea and changed our minds to do it this way. So hopefully it'll be a great-looking piece of work. We also plan on about the 6th step up. We haven't decided yet how many it would be exactly right, but we would like to put Gift of Rotary 2017 on one riser.
Yeah.
I think that's very appropriate.
Yes, continue.
In closing, just to say, we know the Rotary has just done some great work in town, and I'm sure nobody will forget the great pavilion at Watson Park on behalf of your organization. So when you come to us and you do a project like this, I think we all can say we know we're in good hands when the Rotary's behind it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Bill?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and Peter and Bill, thank you so much, and thank you to the Rotary for a lot of the good work that goes unnoticed in our community. And you do it without fanfare, you do it without saying, look at us, look at us, look at us. You quietly go about and find things that benefit our community, make our community a little bit better. And this is just a great example of the Rotary and the Town Center Committee identifying as what Councilor Dwyer said, welcoming optic. And like you said, I agree with that. I mean, when you drive northbound, to see something like that going up, it certainly is going to be more inclusive of people wanting to go up and use Abbie Griffin Park. So I want to thank you for the Town Committee and the Rotary for doing this, but I also want to point out, like you said, Gleason Innocent of Merrimack, who provided the granite pieces, but O'Keefe Landscaping is going to do the installation of Merrimack, and the gravel is going to be provided by Lakeview Materials of Merrimack. And I think it's really important to highlight the fact that we've got vendors here in Merrimack, local vendors that are there offering up a little bit of their time, a little bit of their labor, their product, to be able to make one of our crown jewels, Abbie Griffin, a even better place to go on a Wednesday night and listen to somebody at the bandstand. So I see you're eager to speak, Peter, so I'll cut it short and say thank you.
I'm always eager to speak.
I understand that, but just to say thank you, I appreciate it.
I did want to mention that Sean O'Keefe is donating his time and labor to the extent of about $2,500 as a gift to Rotary, so that Rotary can make it a gift to the town. So he deserves an awful lot of credit, and
he does fantastic work too. Yeah, he's a real perfectionist.
That's what you need for a project like this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Peter?
Just briefly, and I know you folks have been continuing on, but this is a nice step in the right direction to continue.
14 steps.
No pun, though.
14 steps,
No
yeah, no
pun.
pun. But, I have more people that come up to me and we talk about, have discussions about, the identity and the character of the town and the town center, and I think this is great. It's a great step, and I think a lot of people will enjoy it. Thanks.
Great, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, motion will be entertained.
Madam Chair, I move that the town council approve the proposal of a granite walkway from Daniel Webster Highway up into Abbie Griffin Park pursuant to action item 1A of the Town Center Pedestrian Trail Master Plan. And furthermore, that the town manager, Eileen, write a thank you note to Gleason Innocent, O'Keefe Landscaping, Lakeview Materials for being good corporate sponsors of important projects that benefit the community of Merrimack.
And to the Rotary Club for their donations.
And that as well. Thank you, Council Koenig. I appreciate that.
Okay? Okay, motion made by Bill Boyd, second by
Second.
Tom Koenig. Any other any other donations? Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay opposed, none, 700. See, I'm gonna make you sorry you voted me chair. I wanna go downhill from now on.
Should you also indicate that you accept the gift of the value?
Would you
that
like
the
us to
Rotary
be
Club is-
specific related to the money?
Just friendly amendment to the motion that, unless it's
Hold
good.
on, Paul?
I think we're going to have to do this as a housekeeping item at a later agenda, because it wasn't agended as a donation. It was agended as a plan
Project.
to project. So
Okay.
we're going to have to do this as, on the next meeting, we'll put it underneath consent to
Yeah.
accept as the donation
Consent
of
agenda, yeah.
X number of dollars for this.
Do you understand why it was not listed as a financial donation for tonight? So we will accept the project, but during the next meeting on the consent agenda, which is usually not a debate, we'll just have the money there. It's a housekeeping fix. Does that explain it?
Yes, perfect.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so you will get the exact money listed during the next meeting. There'll be a motion.
Bless
You
you.
just legally can't do it because it wasn't listed as money tonight.
All right, we'll list it and ask for it next time.
Thank you.
Yes, I will take care of that with Becky tomorrow.
Paul will
And we'll make sure it's
done.
on the May 11th agenda.
And at
In
that
fact, it
ti-
wouldn't even need to be a presentation from you.
No?
It's just a matter
It's
of
gonna go right on the consent
based upon what was presented
Bless you.
tonight. We'll have all the figures that will be part of the consent agenda for the next meeting. I
Thank
mean,
you,
you're
Madam
welcome to
Chairman.
come, but you won't need to be presenting it
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
unless you want to.
He's already said he wants to talk, so.
Good night, Bill. Good night, Peter. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I know. Town Council retreat, goal session, okay, every year we have a retreat, and Becky will be looking around for different venues, but we need to be able to have some dates. Now, we have in the past had our retreats on a Friday afternoon. I'm sorry, Friday. That does not necessarily mean it has to be Fridays. Apparently, I went back, Paul and I were speaking, and it was just like, if conveniently done for people who worked, it was easier to get Friday or whatever. But it's wide open. We've also, most often, had the meetings toward the end of May, really early June, before vacation and all the rest. So, we should have that discussion and set up some dates. Does anyone have preferences? Just to let you know, I have, for example, if we stuck with Fridays, we do have May 19th and 26th, knowing the 25th is a meeting, town council meeting already. We also have June 2nd or 9th, and there's also a town council meeting on the 8th. Again, those are Fridays. It can be other than that. I'm open to whatever. Yes, Dan?
May 19th is the only one, is the only Friday in May I can't do.
And you're not the only one. Okay, so my 19th, let's take that out then. Finley? Oh, oh, so May 19th is definitely, okay, how about anyone else?
I've got things tied up the first week of June, so I'd rather not do the first or second or.
Okay, so the end of May sounds like the best, doesn't it, so far?
Makes for a nice long weekend.
Labor Day.
That's,
Memorial Day's on Monday.
No, not good for me.
Oh, okay.
There's pros and cons. People may have
That's it. Friday.
plans,
Yeah, June 2nd's tough for me, I can't.
so let's
May
rule out
26th.
Tuesday.
June
Yeah, May
2nd, we're saying
26th.
no, it's not a good day.
Okay.
May 26th, okay?
May 26th, the only thing, that's Memorial Day weekend, right?
Yep.
People may have plans to go away. I
Go away? Oh.
don't, as at the moment. But I mean, again, it can be the 26th. We do have a meeting on the 25th, which we would probably cancel. Not that I don't like to see people. But let's not overdose. Again, we could also do it like on the 24th, which is a Wednesday. We could also leave it of one of 2 days. Again, we might have to give some options to Becky when she's looking around. How's the 24th sound to people, which is a Wednesday?
I'm good.
Is that okay?
Probably
with you,
can make
Zoe?
it work.
Okay, which I like better than the 26th,
I do too.
because it
I don't know
doesn't
that I
cut
have
in.
anything planned.
Right,
I
but
have
it
a wife
doesn't.
who likes to go to the camp.
Okay, why don't we try for the 24th, May 24th, which is a Wednesday. And as a second date, I mean, we could do the 25th, because we could cancel that meeting that night.
Not spend the day together.
Day and night? How does that sound? See, I should quiz you two. What did I just say, you
You said
two?
May 24th,
And then I followed up with a whole different,
and
see,
then you felt,
it's like herding
She
cats.
changed her mind.
and then you changed your mind and you said.
I said we should give a separate, another date in case.
Right, well, that's
an
what I was
alternate.
gonna say, if you gave me a chance.
thought you went back-to-back dates and canceled. Thought you were going back-to-back dates and canceling the meeting on the 25th.
That's just what I said the last week. You picked up just enough of it.
I'm married.
Because even if it was the 24th or 26th, we don't need a meeting on the 25th. So that's going to be canceled regardless. So why don't we tell Becky 24th or 25th?
All right, we'll call around to the 3 places that we discussed in the area, to
Just-
see if
yeah.
who's availability and pricing.
Right. Okay. And if anybody has ideas, please call Becky.
Okay.
And also, if there's any agenda items that people want to be put on the retreat, please give them to Nancy and to Eileen, and we'll make sure, in the binders.
Gets put.
They'll be put into the binders.
Yeah. Okay, all set on that? Okay, town council committee assignments. This is the fun part. Okay, the adult community center rep, I've done that in the past. I'd like to continue with that. Authorized sewer rep, Eileen. Cemetery trustee, Eileen. Chamber of Commerce, Eileen.
Queen of the Dead, right?
Yeah, Queen of the Dead. Conservation Commission,
That was Tom.
that was Tom Mahan.
I could do that.
Okay, Jackie. Ed Cack,
I'd like to continue.
okay, Bill. Heritage Commission, didn't you do that,
Yeah.
Finley?
You're such a good support.
Yeah, how often do they meet?
Every other month.
Okay. It's like the
What do you
traffic
assume I
thing,
should do planning
the
board?
traffic thing, it's like once a year.
And
I'll
the
do
highway
that.
safety committee is still mine, by the way. I'm
Yes.
going out on a limb right now.
Yeah, that's the one.
Is that yours too?
It's my favorite one.
Yeah, it meets like once a
But you know,
year.
the reason I loved it so much is because there were a lot of old timers on that group, and they're gradually leaving. But
And you fit in.
I do fit in. I'm an old guy now. Went to the dark side.
Okay, Merrimack Safeguard,
How come you're turning late
I
then?
don't know, do we
I-
have someone on that?
Yes, I am, and I'll continue.
You will?
Unless somebody else has
Okay.
a driving desire, I'll continue.
Was that the,
Peter, if you want any of these, you got to
Yeah.
speak up.
what did you?
Oh, he's going to be
Merrimack
assigned at any
Safeguard.
moment if he doesn't start volunteering.
Well, I'll interject there for that, for Parks and Rec, because I've been on it for the last
Yeah,
several years. I'd offer it to Pete if you were interested on that committee. One, because it's a great committee. And if you had other ideas on something else, but
Dan, I appreciate that. I actually was gonna, that's something I kind of would like to be involved in.
because it's a committee that you can kind of sink your teeth into. You don't feel like it's good. Yeah.
So is that?
Of course, we're going to have to find out what Mr. Dwyer is going to do
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah.
Parks and Rec is going to be Peter Flood.
Peter Flood, did you say?
Parks and Rec is going to be who?
Peter?
Yes?
Peter Albert.
You said Peter Flood.
You said
by the way.
I'm
Flood.
sorry, God, and I even wrote
He's not
it.
interested.
You even
I
wrote
think
it?
you
And I even wrote Flood.
Did you say that? I thought she said.
Peter Albert. Okay, New Hampshire Transit Authority.
I'll take that one.
No, you're not.
Wow.
Actually, give it to him.
Wow, Madam Chairman. Jeez.
Give it to him.
Just trying to volunteer my time.
Yeah,
instead of
because you
give it
know
to him.
damn well it's being disbanded.
I do.
You
I,
don't,
right hand of God, I do not.
you
I
don't
do
know
not.
that that's going to happen, Madam Chair.
Well, we don't know, but
It's been
it,
talked about,
yes.
but
I will
I,
be your loyal servant until it happens.
Okay, so I will put Dan Dwyer down for the New Hampshire Rail Transit Authority. There's paperwork that has to be sent to them, too. Yeah, Dan Dwyer.
I've got, no,
Want to do that?
I want to
Bill?
do it,
Well,
Okay.
please.
Yeah, Bill's
He's a
been
good
doing
one
that.
for it.
NRPC.
I don't want him to get away with stuff.
This is the big one.
Now, here's the
Here's
big
the
one.
big one.
Planning Board.
Don't
There's
make eye
voting
contact.
member and alternate.
I would like to keep that.
Oh, as the voting member or as the alternate?
Yeah.
God bless you. Tom Koenig. And who wants to be the alternate?
I like getting the call from Tom. Feels like I'm Craig Kimbrell coming out of the
Oh, boy.
bullpen tonight.
Technology Committee.
I'll,
You want to do technology?
sure.
Gee, I guess Dan Dwyer wants to do town center, doesn't he? Or do you?
I'm on that anyway.
You want it? Oh, I keep on trying
Isn't that
here.
too
Nelson
much of the
wants-
family?
And you're
Nelson
saving
likes
him.
Finley to
You're
be on
saving
there.
him.
But that's up to you.
Oh, I'm more than happy to do it, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you want to be the actual rep and I'll just continue as a member or vice versa?
Were we
Oh,
talking
it
about
doesn't-
the
no,
town
whatever-
center?
Whatever's best for everybody, yeah. I'm amenable to whatever
Yeah,
everybody would like.
Nelson likes moles,
So you want
dogs, yeah.
town center?
Moles?
Jackie
Is that what you
Flynn?
Well.
Did
So
you say
techno-
Nelson likes moles?
Madam
All
Chair,
his
Madam
ducks
Chair,
in
I
order.
move that we undesignate Eileen Cabanel as the cemetery trustee, and we nominate Dan Dwyer to be the cemetery trustee.
Well, I had a better idea for all of you, and I mean this sincerely. Anytime you need a backup, I will be the utility. Anybody
You'll
can't
be
make
the
the
float.
meeting, I'll be the floater.
Okay.
Sure. How often do they meet?
I don't
But
think it
I mean
exists.
that. I'll put my, anybody needs
So
to
he's going to
not
be the
make a
official
meeting.
floater.
I'll be the official floater.
Oh, that's a terrible word to use after Tom's remark.
Which counselor is going to be the rep?
I've got the list right here
Oh,
for
yeah,
you.
what, do you want that? Do you want this?
Town center?
Yeah.
I'll do it, it's whatever's best,
Well,
I
I'm
definitely
here
enjoy.
anyway, 'cause I-
So I put you down for town center, right?
okay. You're welcome to.
Yeah. I'll go anyhow, even
Okay.
as a non-member, yep.
Okay, hold on a second.
Because I don't,
Okay, town manager's annual evaluation. This agenda item was a result of the evaluation that was completed, which she has a yearly evaluation by the town council that was completed. With that, we discussed some changes related to her contract, and since we've approved the minutes, it's now time to approve those changes that are a result of the contract. So I'd like a motion to move and approve the town manager's contract as presented.
Can I, not making that
Absolutely.
motion, but make
Yeah.
another suggestion. I noticed when I was reading through it that it says we do a 6-month review and not an annual review. And I was wondering if
And
we
we
could
do
change
that.
the contract to say
Yeah.
annual from now on. Because that's the way we've
Because
been
we've never-
functioning. 6
yeah.
months was just during the first period, but the way I read the contract, it's 6 months all the time.
Okay, so let me make sure I get to the copy of the contract. to not only change the previously discussed changes, but to also.
But, right, in addition to those changes, to
Yeah.
add in the review is annual.
Review annually. Everyone understand the change suggested? Okay. Now we can accept the motion, or unless anyone else?
How did you want?
Oh, we have to do that
wording for the
first, don't we?
motion, or- Pardon?
We have to do this section. I'm just trying to think logistically. We have to do the change to the contract. Can we do it all at once?
You can do it all.
You can accept it all.
You can do it all at once if that's.
Okay, why don't we do it all at once? Okay, because we're talking about the COLA, the vacation, and now this change annual as compared to every 6 months.
So
Okay,
just to, if I might just get this straight, it's just an annual, not a biannual.
correct.
Now, being consistent town-wise.
Oh,
did
here.
I'm sorry. Being consistent town-wise, do we do, I know at the PD they did biannual, they did semi-annual and annual. Is that?
It's basically just by contract for her. I think it was started out every 6 months.
Yeah, the first
But it
year
should
or
have
so,
been-
we did 6-month reviews, just kind of a probationary period. But since then, after that first year,
It's
year and a
been
half,
yearly.
it's been annual.
So it's really by contract.
And just
I
getting the
suppose.
contract to be legal, technically correct with the way we're behaving.
Thank you.
Just trying to find some town charter real quick.
Okay. Finley is checking the charter for something. He's our expert of the charter now.
But I'm nowhere near like Tom.
Oh, no. Tom knew it off the top of his head. Give him a call.
I don't know why we went to, I don't
Why
know why
what?
we did it twice a year. It just says it should be annually done in here, so that's good.
Okay.
I
That's
think
what
we
the
just
charter
wrote
said.
that into the contract originally because we
Originally, yeah.
wanted to, kind of as a probationary level, do that first couple every 6 months, and then it never got changed. We
Yeah.
overlooked it.
No, it's perfect, because it says following the first anniversary of the manager's service to the town and during each subsequent year thereafter, the council shall conduct an evaluation of the manager's performance in office. After such evaluation, the council will determine whether the manager's overall performance
Here's
in
Mike's
office
other one.
has been satisfactory or unsatisfactory. The council shall also establish compensation, so that's good.
So that's
Thank you, and sorry
consistent.
about that.
Well, I'm glad you thought of looking at
Yeah.
it. Okay, so motion, wants to do that motion? To approve the town manager's contract and those 3 components
As amended?
as amended?
So
Okay.
moved.
Bill Boyd, second.
Second.
Tom Koenig. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
Any abstaining?
Abstain.
You want to abstain? Okay. So it's 5-0-2. Peter Albert and Dan Dwyer abstaining. Okay. Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
if you want to sign the back page.
I've already got it right here. I've already signed some of it. Thank you.
So if you want to sign the back page, we'll make sure the
Thank you.
motions are, the changes are made properly.
I'll verify it tomorrow. Okay, approve the minutes of the following town council meetings, March 9th.
Madam Chair, move the Thursday, March 9, 2017 Town Council minutes as presented.
Motion made by Bill Boyd, second by
Second.
Jackie Flood. Any changes?
Yes.
Yep, Jackie.
Yeah, I don't want to be picky, but all throughout this one
You
page
need to, oh,
anyway,
you got it, okay.
is a misuse of the word site.
Site?
Yes, S-I-T-E, and that is a word that is, prevalent in planning and zoning and all that stuff, but in this case, they mean S-I-G-H-T, site, because you're looking to see cars coming.
So there should be,
Yes, yes.
so there should be a autocorrect
It should
of
be
S-I-T-E.
S-I-G-H-T. And the only reason I would even bring it up is that if the owners of these properties saw that, they'd say, oh, they were talking about something else,
Nope, absolutely. So there should be a overall change of the word SITE?
Yes.
SIGHT?
It seems to be. I didn't read every one. Maybe one of them is correct.
Okay.
Great. Somebody will have to go through it.
Okay, any other changes? Okay, acceptance of the minutes with the changes from Jackie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You can't, you have to abstain.
Excuse me?
You have to abstain because you weren't here.
Abstain.
You weren't here. You might have been here in spirit, Peter. Okay, so that's 6-0. Okay, so it's 5-0-2. Peter Albert and Dan Dwyer abstain. Okay, March 15th.
Madam Chair, I move the Wednesday, March 15, 2017 Town Council Special Session minutes that followed the deliberative session as presented.
Motion made by Bill Boyd, seconded by Tom Koenig. Any changes? Seeing none. Okay, all those in favor? Minutes as written? Aye. Any opposed? Oh, okay. That's right. He was busy. He was busy for a little while. Yeah, he was gone for a while. Okay, 5-0-2. Peter Albert and Dan Dwyer abstaining. March 23rd.
Madam Chair, I move the Thursday, March 23, 2017 Town Council meeting minutes as presented.
Bill Boyd motion, second.
Second.
Dan Dwyer. He came back for that meeting. Kicking and screaming.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, you did. Any
He
changes?
did come back again.
No changes. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? One. So that's 6-0-1. Peter Albert abstaining. Okay, comments from the press. Gee, he left. He was here a minute ago.
Oops.
Comments from the public. Seeing none. Comments from the council. Bill, and then we'll move down.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you to my colleagues, just wanted to take the opportunity to recognize a group and two individuals in town that did some pretty special stuff representing the community of Merrimack. I wanted to recognize the Merrimack High School Granite State Challenge team. They made it all the way to the quarterfinals and lost a close match to Bedford in the quiz challenge. It's on Channel 11 WENH, I believe it is. So I wanted to congratulate the students on the quiz team. I wanted to recognize Robert Sawdry. He's a sophomore at Merrimack High School. He competed and won the 2017 New Hampshire Scholastic Chess Tournament. He's the state chess champion and will be competing in the national tournament out in Missouri this upcoming June. So I wanted to congratulate Robert on his accomplishment. And then lastly, I wanted to recognize Aiden Hanning. He's an 8th grader at the Merrimack Middle School. He won the New England Championship and the National Championship in the 135-pound wrestling class about a month ago. And in talking with one of his coaches, he's continuing to grow. So I don't expect him to be hanging around the 135-pound class any longer. But I think it's thrilling to have somebody to say national champion at a specific class.
Amazing.
You know, I think that's a heck of an accomplishment. So I wanted to congratulate Aiden on the hard work and the perseverance to obtain that level of success at such a young age. And I wish him nothing but the best of his pursuits, along with Robert and the kids from the quiz team. So thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Nice. Peter?
I'd just like to take a minute. This past Sunday, the VFW honored Officer John Dudash as the Police Officer of the Year and firefighter Sean Brechtel as the Fireman of the Year. I know both those gentlemen. They do outstanding work, and I think that's a nice honor for them. And you know what? This is the EMT of the Year. It slips me the name of the gentleman that won the EMT of the Year. And I apologize for that.
Paul will have it in a moment. As soon as he gets it, we're going to announce it. Right? See, he's not working fast enough. Not that we're putting pressure on him or anything. Move on. Anything else, Peter?
Nothing else, thank you, ma'am.
Jackie?
Yes, I'm afraid I have a sad note that I saw that Janet Cormier died. She was a longtime chairman of the Parks and Rec
Yes.
Committee, and she moved out to the Southwest about 5 or 6 years ago, I think, maybe even longer. And she was just an exemplary leader and quite a fine and stalwart chairman of the Parks and Rec.
Yeah. Wow.
That's too bad.
Okay, the EMT is who?
William Dodge.
William Dodge.
Congratulations
William
to all of
Dodge.
them.
Thanks, Paul.
Sad news, but yes, I do remember.
Yep.
Anything?
Yes, just a real quick, though everything was uncontested, I appreciate the opportunity to come back with all my colleagues here. But the most important thing is, I don't know how many of you frequent Reeds Ferry Lumber, but Joe Socorro is a fixture in the town of Merrimack who offers discounts to Public Works for product. They've always been kind to me. They help Boy Scouts out constantly, and it's all, I think, because in large part due to Joe and his, wanting to help out in the community that way. He will apparently be cleaning his desk off tomorrow after 35 years, and it kind of breaks my heart a little bit, but he's a great guy, and I just wanted to let that be known. But thanks.
Is he retiring and sticking around? Is there happy endings to this?
Well,
I mean, when people are retiring and they're going to be an exciting thing, that's great, but.
Yeah, I just heard about it actually from a Public Works guy, Ernie Doucette. He told me, and I went to see Joe today, and he wasn't in. But they've told me, Dan down there said that he's sure after 35-plus years that he won't be able to just walk away. So he'll be down, I'm sure, occasionally. But he travels from Hillsborough every morning via 202, because at one time at 4 in the morning as he came to work, he ran into a moose, and he chose not to do 114 any longer on those back roads. But
Wow.
But anyhow, I'll miss Joe for sure.
Well, we wish him health and a good retirement and enjoy it and stay healthy. Anybody down here? Nothing?
The planning board continues to meet. We're expecting a full agenda coming up soon. Also on the agenda is the old Shaw's complex. More
plan.
and other efforts coming forward. I don't know what they are yet. They're coming to talk to us about what they hope to do there. So we'll continue to keep people posted on progress made there.
There's a lot of anxious people wondering about that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay, entertain a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second by, Peter Albert. Motion by Bill Boyd, second by Peter Albert. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Dare none. 700. Make sure you sign this.